I want to thank everybody for coming here today.
Everybody can hear you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming here today. My name is Rich Alvarez, the president of the New York City Central Labor Council of New York, representing 1.3 million unionized workers here in New York City. Behind me are several labor leaders from unions affected by the executive order issued last week by City Hall that fundamentally changed how wages and benefits for 9,500 city workers are calculated. And we are simply here today to announce that those workers will be filing a legal challenge to the executive order, and that the New York City Central Labor Council will be signing on as supporters of that lawsuit. The executive order was done without public discussion and behind closed doors. No effort, none whatsoever, was made to communicate with any of the workers whose livelihoods were altered with the stroke of a pen. The hard-working men and women of New York City deserve better than that, and that is why we in labor are going to support them in this legal challenge. Now, we don't believe that the city has the authority to unilaterally restructure long-standing wage agreements, and we certainly don't agree that these decisions should be made without a transparent process and a good faith dialogue. There are many speakers here today, but to start us off and to explain some of the legalities of the case, I'd like to bring up Harry Greenberg, one of the counselors who's been involved with this case.
Good afternoon. The executive order and the personnel order that the mayor signed on April 10th didn't notify us until April 12th. Violates the New York State Civil Service Law, the New York City Collective Bargaining Law, the New York State Labor Law, Section 220, and various other statutes. We intend to look forward to filing the appropriate actions. I'm not disturbing you.
Thank you, Harry.
Harry, all right, Harry.
There's a tremendous display of unity out here today from all sectors of the labor movement, and not even just from New York City. My pleasure to introduce the president of the New York City Central Labor Council, Mario Selectos.
The mayor decided to unilaterally disregard 100 years of labor relations. He not only chose to ignore the needs and concerns of working men and women, he chose to ignore the voice of working people. By deciding that he was going to make this decision and announce it afterwards, by deciding that he wasn't going to speak to any of the labor leaders standing here behind him, he showed a clear disregard for working men and women, because he showed that he did not care about the impact that his decision had on their lives and their well-being. And that should be troubling not only to working men and women, that should be troubling to all New Yorkers, and it should be troubling to all of us as a society. As a result of that, the New York State AFL-CIO supports the efforts to overturn the mayor's unilateral decision. Will also sign on the New York City Central Labor Council and others. And finally, I want to make it clear that the labor movement in this state will never tolerate an elected official who ignores the needs and concerns of working men and women, specifically on issues that directly impact their lives, their livelihoods, and their well-being. Thank you very much.
As we said, there's many different workers, many different industries that are affected. Next speaker I want to call up is Gary LaBarbera. Gary is the president of the Greater New York City Building Construction Trades Council. Gary.
Can you hear me all right? Yeah! They can hear me, and I hope you can hear me as well. I'm going to just tell you straight on behalf of the building trades. First of all, very important point that's been made. We are standing here today with our brothers and sisters in organized labor in this city, in this state. We're here with the municipal unions. We're here with the Central Labor Council because this affects us all. As you already heard stated, we totally disagree with the mayor's decision here with this executive order. And one of the things that's most disturbing about this is that there was no dialogue with labor whatsoever. There's 100 years. There's 100 years of relations in this city with organized labor and the mayor's office. And in 2012, that broke down. And that's a problem. We cannot allow any elected official, including the mayor, to simply, with a stroke of the pen, as you heard, change the laws, change the rules. And beyond that, you have to realize it should be of concern to the public at large, because the mayor has, through this executive order, has taken authority away from another city officer, the controller's office. All right, that should be a concern not only to us, to all of these members from all these unions, but to the public at large. The reality is, and the protections that are in the 220 law are for one reason and one reason only, because these men and women have skill, they work hard to serve the public, and it's to protect them with their wages and benefits so they can have a dignified life. That we in organized labor and the building trades, along with the municipal unions and the Central Labor Council, will not sit idle, and we will not be silenced. We will not be
Thank you, Gary, but this is not just about, as Gary said, building trades. We got municipal workers that are affected too, and the president of the Municipal Labor Committee of New York City, Harry Nespoli, is here. Harry.
Sad day. When I have my first comment is that we're going legal. I've been in the union business for a long time, and I dealt with other administrations. This is the first administration that ever did not get in contact with the MLC to sit down and to talk about the problems that they were going to do. They turned around and got us 2 days after the mayor signed this agreement. There's 10,000 members that had a right to go to another person to settle their contract for their families. He took these 10,000 and moved them into 97% of the municipal workers that are working now without a contract. That tells you what this administration's intentions are. And we won't stand for it, and we're going to support those 10,000 in any way we possibly can. Thank you.
Executive Director of AFSCME DC 37.
All right.
I know I can't talk loud enough for the mayor because he never paid any attention. But for the first time, I'm displeased that labor is waking up. If we're not separate and apart, we won't be divided. What? And that's why I'm here, is to say that we're going to be in this fight. This is an humble beginning of what we can expect. And let us not forget that across this country, other states are facing these situations. Ours are coming to us a little different. And so this is to say we will have none of that brought into a labor town like New York. And so I'm glad that you're here. We're together. We're joining in the lawsuit, and we're joining the rallies and whatever else that we can do to be supportive of ourselves. Thank you.
What this is about, Lord, I know we cannot forget that this is all about the workers, the hard-working men and women of New York City. I'd like to call up President Joe Colangelo of SEIU Local 246. I know he's got some members here today. Joe.
Hold the banner up higher.
I'd like to start off by
saying I speak on behalf of the Civil Service Coalition of Municipal Employees Building Trades. William Lacey is our chairman. My statement is simple. This is not Wisconsin. This is not Indiana. This is not Ohio.
Lock up the bankers!
You cannot, with the stroke of a pen, flush down the toilet the process to get wages and benefits for municipal employees and everybody involved. You can't do it. And that's what the mayor did. I sat down on April 11th to receive a phone call from the city. In that phone call, I was explained to me that my contract that existed the day before was no longer in effect, and he was going to dictate the new contract for the workers starting the following day. We've never seen that.
Tell Walker to go home!
That type of disregard for hard-working men and women who are struggling in this economy is an example of how this mayor treats not only our group, but all workers. And that's going to stop. And that stops today. I'd like to thank the Central Labor Council, along with the Building and Construction Trades, the State AFL-CIO, the Municipal Labor Committee, and everybody committed to this fight, because it goes beyond us. It goes beyond to all working men and women, whether they're union or non-union. Thank you very much.
Okay, so in closing, and what is most important, and let everybody go forth from here today knowing that this is a unified labor movement in New York City. This is a union town, and we will always be together, and we will always stay together. Whether we are municipal workers, public sector workers, private sector workers, building trades, we are going to stay together and make sure that we fundamentally stand up and continue to stand up for workers' rights in this city. I want to thank the elected officials who came through, who supported us in this yard. I want to thank the labor leaders who came out today in unity, a unified labor movement in New York City, standing together, and most of all, every one of the workers up here that is out here today, I want to thank you for the work that you do every day and say that we are with you in this fight and we will stand with you together. Thank you.
Thank you! Thank you!
Okay, thank you all for coming. Thank you. Any other questions? I know there were many of us around. We'll look to field questions. Thank you.